Hello friends, I am Dr. Harsha Suryavanshi, Assistant Professor from Sri Shivaji Law College, Parbhani, Maharashtra. In this video, we are going to see information about res sub judice. What res sub judice is, we'll try to have an example. Suppose X is a property. A and B are opposite parties to a suit relating to property X. There is a suit A versus B in a court at Mumbai about property X. The suit is filed in the month of June. Another suit is filed by B and it is B versus A, suit in the court at Delhi about the same property X, and it is filed in the next month, July. A and B also include their representatives. That means if instead of A there is representative of A, even then we can call it as a suit between A and B. Now what will be the consequences if both the suits continue? Just imagine both the suits are continuing. One suit it as Mumbai and other suit is at Delhi. What will happen if these two courts they give judgment about the same property and between the same parties? This is really an embarrassing situation, and to answer this is the doctrine of res sub judice. What it says, civil court shall not proceed with the trial of any suit in which the matter in issue is directly and substantially in issue in a previously instituted suit. The suits are between the same parties and the court before which the previous suit was instituted is still pending, and such court is competent to grant the relief. Here what it tries to say that there are two suits, one is previously instituted and other is subsequently instituted. In both the suits, matter and issue are same. Similarly, parties to both the suits, they are same, and the court in which the suit was instituted first, that is previous suit, was competent or is competent to grant the relief that is claimed in the previous suit. Now let us see what section 10 it clearly says. It says that no court shall proceed. See, the words shall has been used. It means it is mandatory provision. No court shall proceed with the trial of any suit. It speaks about a trial. You can institute the suit or subsequent suit can be instituted, but it will not be tried. No court shall proceed with the trial of any suit in which the matter in issue is also directly and substantially in issue in a previously instituted suit. So again, there are two suits, a previous suit and subsequent suit. Both the suits, they are between the same parties, or the suit may be between parties under whom they or any of them claim. That means the suit may be between representatives of the parties. The parties are litigating under same title. Title means capacity. Where such suit is pending in same or any other court in India having jurisdiction to grant the relief claimed, or any court beyond the limits of India, established or continued by central government and having same jurisdiction, or the suit may be pending before Supreme Court. So this speaks about previous suit. The previous suit is pending in the same court or in some other court, and while the previous suit is pending, subsequent suit is being filed. What section 10 says? the suit that is subsequently filed shall be stayed. Now, what are the objects of res sub judice? What it says, the first object of res sub judice is to prevent the courts of concurrent jurisdiction to entertain and adjudicate upon the same subject matter simultaneously. As we have seen in the example, I asked a question, what will happen or what will be the consequences if both the courts, court at Mumbai and court at Delhi, if they pronounce a judgment. So, what is the object? Object is to prevent the courts of concurrent jurisdiction from deciding on a matter simultaneously. Another object of res sub judice is to prohibit two parallel suits with respect to same subject matter in two competent courts. So, there cannot be two parallel proceedings. Either of the suit will proceed. The third object of res sub judice is to confine the parties to one litigation and avoid multiplicity of proceedings. Multiplicity will lead to creating confusion about the judgment. Therefore, it is necessary that the parties shall be confined to one litigation and avoid multiplicity of the proceedings. Thank you, friends. We will discuss more about res sub judice in other recordings. Thank you very much.